Today I'm at Snetterton race circuit in Norfolk. It's located approximately 19 miles southwest of Norwich. It was originally opened in 1951 and before it was a race circuit it was an RAF base. It's changed over the years, but today it's called Snetterton 300 and it's approximately 3 miles long, or around about 5 kilometres. Here are a couple of laps. Okay, start and finish straight. Coming up to Rich's, it's a fast corner. I know someone did actually die here in a Citroen. I'm always thinking about that, in a Citroen Cup. Brake down to third. You can usually take this something like 60-70 miles an hour, depending on how confident you are. Some people who are really confident go much faster than that, and drift into the outside and let this faster BMW past. Coming down into the hairpin, I usually brake, go down the second gear as I'm still braking into the beginning of the apex, and then ease the power into the exit apex, and I find that quite a quick way round. With this corner, just a little dab of brake, get the car leaned over and settled into the inside apex, look at the outside apex, gradually feeding the power, not so much power that you leave the circuit, but you do go into the exit apex. Full power now, braking hard. Down into third, this is Agostoni, easing off the brake a little bit, down into second, beginning of the apex, easing into the power to the outside apex, looking at the outside, a bit more power, and give as much power as I can so I don't run off. Now dab a brake on this one, just like that, turn it in, go very close to these tyres, power into the outside apex, and then braking hard in the straight line, easing off the brake, getting on the inside here, but go right to the outside on the exit. Really do that there, even though there's no exit at apex, still go to the outside, it's a quicker way round. Dab a brake here, this is Williams I believe, as close as we can to the inside, easing on the power, and any more power than that and I'll probably be leaving the circuit. The tyres were starting to slide there. I believe this is called the Bentley Straight, and I think that last corner is called Williams. Up to fifth gear, 115, 120 nearly into the brake now. Down into fourth gear, easing off the brake but still on it. Down into third gear, easing off the brake a little bit more into second, into the power, into the outside apex, and then we have Bommel. Usually just a little lift, turn it in, look at the outside apex right across the grass, ease the power into the outside, and now Coram. This is a tricky corner. It's like, how fast do you go? Well, how fast do you dare to go? At the moment that's 70 miles an hour. I can feel the car starting to slide a little bit. So just easing off the power very gently here and ease into the brake gently because it tightens up and you could spin if you brake too hard there. Someone has, you can see. Now I've got a faster car behind me, so I'm just going to let them pass. Nope, they don't want to come past. So I'm going to carry on. I think they're leaving the circuit. Now on the straight I just gradually drift over to the left. This is February at the moment. Whenever I do a track day in February, I seem to be one of the slower cars on circuit. Off the brake now, that's 70 miles an hour, easing into the power. Oh, feel the back end's come out a tiny bit there. That's 80 miles an hour on the exit. 90, red line on the revs, into the brake. Down into second, still braking but less, into the inside apex. Looking at the outside, easing the power on to the outside apex. I can see a few raindrops now. This circuit does get very slippery when it gets wet, so if water starts being on the surface, I'm going to ease off quite a bit. A lot of smoke from that car in front. Guessing it's a diesel, there's something wrong with it. Yeah, as I was saying, in February, people on track always seem to be really good. It's like only hardcore track enthusiasts go to track days in the winter. There's a lot of cars here that look like race cars, looking at their roll cages and their tyres and suspension and brake setup, and very experienced drivers. I mean, there's been a few Fiestas here with less power than this car, but they're still faster than me because they're so much quicker through these bends.
Turns out these two Fiestas are actually racing cars for young, new racing drivers. That's why they're so quick.
Now looking at the outside, this is the trick. So you don't crash. If you're new to driving on track, go into the corners a bit slow, just to be safe, and then look at the outside of the exit of the bend and gradually feed in power towards that. And then you can feel the car start to slide. It doesn't just go away from you suddenly. You actually get an opportunity to see how fast you can go. And if you do start giving a bit too much gas, you can also just come off it a little bit. Coming up to bomb hole again. The only place I've ever spun a car on circuit is here in my VX220. And this is the, as I say, the scary corner. You can go into it really fast, but I think the key is just to let the speed gradually reduce as you go around, because the bend gets tighter and tighter, and then you will need the brakes. You do not want to come off the gas quick, or as you go into that grass and into that barrier, you'll get lift off oversteer. And then power onto the exit, onto the straight. Finding it hard to slide here. There's not many places where I can really get this car to slide today. And that's a couple of laps of Snetterton. When I was going into some of those bends, I was still braking as I was steering the wheel. And it's recommended that you don't brake at the same time as steering when you're driving on track. You should do most of the braking in a straight line and then go around the bend. That keeps the car balanced and means you're less likely to lose control and leave the circuit. But you can brake as you enter a bend as long as you brake less. Only do this if you're confident and are experienced with your car, and build yourself up gradually. Here's a demonstration. So as I'm braking hard now in a straight line and going down to second, as I start to steer, I reduce the braking. I am braking as I steer, but a lot less. It's very important not to brake a lot when you're turning, because that can make you lose control. Try and get most of the slowing down done when the car is straight. But if you can do a little bit of the slowing down into the bend, it means you can just start braking that little bit later. I'm going to do it again up here into Agostoni. There's a bit of traffic up here. So I'm braking hard in a straight line, down into third. Now I'm braking less as I turn in, down into second, getting on the inside apex, and then powering on to the outside. Just means I can brake that little bit later if I do a little bit of the braking in the bend, but I'm not braking hard in the bend. I'm driving a Mazda MX5 with Michelin Pilot Sport 4 tyres and Carbotech XP10 brake pads, but standard discs. The brake pads are excellent. If you're interested in a review of this car, I'll leave a link up there. Snetterton is one of the fastest circuits in the UK, although it's far from one of my favourites, and that's because it's very flat, but it is well maintained, so it's unlikely that you're going to get stone chips or a broken windscreen. And the facilities here are good as well. There's loads of toilets, you have food and petrol on site. There's even a petrol station only 5 minutes away. If you found the video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to get my future videos. And until the next one, cheerio.